What is up, guys? My name is Joseph Scalise. This is Theory Crafting Thursday here on the Noble Gwentry, and this is a series where we break down a deck that maybe isn't meta, a deck that maybe isn't mainstream, one of the weirder decks, a different deck. Maybe it's not always going to be good, but there's going to be a nugget of goodness in there that we can try to make and take out of the deck and kind of build around. So this is, if Deck of the Week, which you guys should also check out, is more about decks that are more geared towards the meta. This is the deck building exercise series that also will be weekly and also will have cool decks. And in this case, it is day one, the first 24 hours of open beta. And we are looking at a Henselt deck that I think could be really good, that I think has had a lot of really good, I've had a lot of success with early on in testing. So Henselt is the leader here. He is a 2-strength gold unit. When you play him, you summon all copies of a bronze ally, and there are a lot of combos you can do with that in this deck. You can get Reaver Hunters, which triggers their trio immediately. That's the main use for him. You can also get Redanian Knight Elects for massive tempo swings. You can get Reaver Scouts to chain your units, and you can also get triple reinforced Trebuchet to just take over a round. Very good card, and a lot of really nice uses. Now, let's bounce into the bronze, then we'll talk about the silvers, and then we'll get into the golds. First things first, Temerian Infantrymen. 3-cost unit. When you play it, you get the other 2 out of your deck. So it's basically 9 power, but it has the added advantage of getting 2 bronzes out of your deck as well, so you get to thin your deck and make your draws better. Not only that, but it also combos with the next bronze unit, which is Redanian Knight Elect. So 5-strength unit, 2 armor, so essentially a 7-strength unit. And at the start of your turn, if it has armor, it boosts adjacent units by 1. So what you can do is you can lead the game with an infantryman, get a good power swing there, and then you play the Knight Elect in between 2 of them, and you have 2 units to hit with its ability, and that is very good. Even on its own, though, the Knight Elect can get crazy, has to be answered. Very, very strong bronze card, and kind of one of the cores of this build. And then moving on beyond that, we have Reaver Hunters. Now, Reaver Hunters is a very interesting card. It is a 6-strength unit, but it has Bond. So Bond means when you play it, something will happen, and then when you play the other Reaver Hunters, that thing will happen again. So in this case, it boosts all of them by 1. So this is essentially a 7-strength unit. You play the first one, it's 7. You play the second, 8. You play the third, it is 9. And then they also come with an added ability of Trio, so when all 3 of them are on the same row at the same time, you damage the highest enemy by half its power, and it ignores armor. Very, very strong tempo swing, very, very good. Now just be warned, because the Reaver Hunters all buff each other up, they will all be 9s when you play them, and when they're all 9s, they are 27 power, which sets you up for things like Scorch, and also sets you up for Gerald Igni. If you don't know what that is, it is basically a Scorch on a unit. And so to play around that, there are a couple ways, but the main way is to play the first Reaver Hunter, play a Knight Elect next to it, so then this one gets buffed to 7, so when you play the other ones or summon them out with Henselt or get them with Reaver Scout, then they are uneven and are no longer vulnerable. Speaking of Reaver Scouts, they are 2-strength unit, deploy, summon a copy of a different bronze ally. So there are a lot of good bronze allies you want to summon, and they are basically extra Henselts. You don't need 3 because they kind of gum up your draws, but they have good combos with Reaver Hunter. Getting more Redanian Knight Elects is never bad, and of course the final bronze unit, reinforced Trebuchets, and getting more of these is always great. They are 5 strength, one of the best bronze cards in Northern Realms, if not the best bronze card in Northern Realms. At the start of your turn, they just damage a random enemy by 1. So they are basically free value every single turn for that round. They're really good at amassing. If you want to stay in a round a long time, if you want to put on pressure, if you want tempo, this card does it all. Getting 3 of them with Henselt is very good, and powering them out with Reaver Scout is also very, very strong. And then finally, the last bronze card in the deck is a single copy of First Light, just hedging your bets against things like Ragnarok, things like Drought. I've seen a little bit of weather, but not enough to include 2, although if there was a lot of weather, I might throw another one in there. Now, moving on to the silver cards. The first one is Vess. Now, Vess may seem like a weird one. She's a 6-strength unit. You summon her whenever you trigger a trio. There is only one trio in this deck, and that is the Reaver Hunters. So why are we playing Vess? That free 6 power is very good. It's deck thinning and it's instant power, and you are going to trigger the Reaver Hunters trio. Because of Henselt and Reaver Scouts, you're going to be triggering this pretty much every single game. Getting a free 6 out of your deck as a tempo play in round 1 or round 2 is very, very strong. Also, you never have to worry about drawing her unnecessarily because of the mulligans in round 2 and 3. If you have her, you just put her back in your deck. There's really no downside to her. I started playing her as a test, and she has been absolutely phenomenal. We also have Deathmold. He's the mage of the Northern Realms. That means he is a 3-strength unit that can summon 3 different special cards. He can summon Torrential Rain, which at the start of the turn damages the lowest units on the row by 2, so you can use him as a way to kind of wear your opponent down with weather. He is also a 2nd Clear Skies if you want to clear him out, and he's also, and the reason he is in the list mainly, he's an Alzur's Thunder on a 3-strength unit, and there are so many good applications there. One of the best silvers I've played with so far in the open beta. Very, very powerful card. In addition, we have Margarita Locks and Teal. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. She resets a unit and then locks it. Very, very good. Not only, you could run Cleaver instead of her if you don't have her, but the ability to reset a unit and then lock it. The lock isn't even as strong as the reset, to be completely honest, but they're both very, very powerful. A lot of good applications. Now, Cyprian Wheelie, or Cyprian Wiley, is another card that I really enjoy. He's a 7 strength, and when you deploy him, he weakens a unit by 3 or he destroys an ambush unit. Now, no one's really playing ambush right now, so that doesn't matter, but the ability to weaken units by 3 is actually very powerful. He's good against things like Queen's Guard. He's good against Resurrect decks. He's good against Consume Monsters, because he eats Neckers and makes it so they can't be, they don't go to the graveyard. There's a lot you can do with this card. He has a lot of versatility, and the fact is, at the end of the day, he is a 10-point silver, which does come in handy. Not essential to the deck, but something that I personally prefer. A card that I do not prefer is Scorch. Destroy the highest units. I'm not a huge fan of this card. However, the meta is very greedy right now. There's a lot of decks going big. A lot of decks playing how many strong units can I pump out, how many huge things can I put on the board. So having a Scorch has saved me in a large number of games, and I think it has enough targets right now, and it's strong enough that it deserves a slot. And then the final silver card is Thaler. I call him Thaler. He draws 2 cards, including golds, and you keep one and you shuffle the other back. So he is a 11 strength spy, but he is your card advantage engine. He is a fantastic card. Not only do you get to draw a card, you get to choose between 2 different ones. That is incredibly powerful. And he is one of the best card draw units in the game. Just play him. If you're going to play Northern Realms, you really, really, really craft him. He is very, very strong. And then finally, we have the 4 gold units up here. They are all in this row. Philippa Eilhart, she is the starting gold for Northern Realms. She's just fantastic. Doing 5 damage to an enemy, and then 4, 3, 2, 1. She clears. She's removal. She's a tempo swing. She can clear an entire board on her own. Just exactly what you want for a strong gold card, and I'm actually really surprised that they gave her to us. Following her up, we have Vernon Roche, 6 strength gold. So when you play him, you damage an enemy by 3. If you kill it, you spawn a Blue Stripes Commando, which is a 3 strength unit. And then you get to do it again. So let's say there's 2 3-strength units on your opponent's board. You kill one, you get a Blue Stripes Commando. You kill the other one, you get a Blue Stripes Commando. So that's an 18-point swing in 1 card. Very, very strong. When you go to round 3 and you have like 2 cards and one of them is Vernon Roche, you're going to be really happy when you can just ping off something and get that massive swing. He's also really good at pushing rounds, and he's also very powerful as a tempo play. Triss Marigold, a card that I've tested a lot of cards in these slots, and she's actually been really good. Triss is not a card that I thought was going to be very strong when I first started playing this deck. I threw her in. I thought she might be a good tempo play, but the more I mess around with her, the more I like her. She kills a lot of units that you wouldn't expect. She's very good at stopping chains from like weather monsters. She can kill a lot of their wild hunt units. She can stop Mangonels. She can kill Trebuchets and other Northern Realms deck. She has a lot of good targets to hit right now, and she's a 7 strength gold. Very, very nice. And then finally, the last card is Zoltan Animal Tamer. So, if for those of you not familiar with Zoltan Animal Tamer, he is a 7-string gold. And when you play him, you can spawn a Field Marshal Duda companion, so a friendly parrot, or an evil parrot. And the friendly parrot will boost 2 adjacent units on either side, so 4 units in all, by 2. Or you can take the evil parrot, put him on your opponent's board, and he will do 2 damage to 4 different units. So this card is essentially a 14 or 15 point swing in one card that has a lot of versatility. Because he can go on either side of the board, you can really just sculpt him to the amount of units you or your opponent has, and that makes him very powerful. He is one of the best tempo swings right now. No one sees him coming, no one plays around him, and he's one of the best ways to kind of end a round or take a game. So this is the way the deck looks. It's a deck of 3s. It is the Trinity. It is the trio. We have some interesting combos and some very fun cards here. So I'm going to stop talking at you guys. We're going to jump over to the games. All right, game number 1.
I shall not repeat the year's mistakes.
Plain.
Men of Kedwen, attack!
I keep trying to turn down these voice effects, and they seem to not be turning down. I don't know why that is. So with the Mulligan Guide, we're going up against John Calvier. Usually with this deck, you want to have a good smattering of things. Obviously, we don't want Vest, but we're going to throw her back last. Because she's an automatic mulligan, so there's no reason to mulligan her first. We don't need the first light here. Get rid of that first. Now I'm going to get rid of Vest because we have a pretty good hand around her. Let's see why I'm getting rid of her. Let's say I don't get rid of Vest right now. Let's say we mulligan one of these Reaver Scouts, which I want to do. We get an Infantryman, then we have 2 cards in our hand we don't want. If we mulligan her and we get an Infantryman, which we didn't, that would be pretty good. We could mulligan a Reaver Scout, but I don't think we need to. This is a pretty solid hand. And we're going second, which is always going to be a good thing. And we'll see what our opponent is up to. We have a pretty good hand here. Thaler is really good if we can win round 1. So a big tip with this deck, and you'll see me do this in the games, is play Reinforced Trebuchet first. I actually like to lead with this over the Temerian Infantrymen. Play this first to try to eat removal before you play Reaver Hunter. Most people won't kill Reaver Hunter because they don't really know the combo, but you don't want to risk losing Reaver. If you lose your Reaver Hunter, it really dilutes a lot of what you're doing in round 1. So we have Scorch. We're not really worried about this thing getting big at all. I actually think we're going to... So we have a couple options here. We can Reaver Scout out another Trebuchet, and I think that's actually better than playing... We want to play the Infantrymen, but I want to get the Trebuchets going.
But we're broke as shit peddlers.
So what this does is it basically makes it so we're going to be constantly putting pressure on him, and it's going to force him to stay in the round. He's not going to feel safe. And we do want to push this round, right? If we can get some cards out of him and then go in with this combo, so many times I find with this deck that your opponent, you have a Reaver Hunter, your opponent thinks they're safe, they'll pass when they're 20 points ahead, and then you just go off. Oh, that's really good for us as well. The reason that's good for us is because Scorch is going to take that out eventually. We obviously want to Scorch before the Reaver Hunters, but that's neither here nor there. So now we're probably just going to do this.
Come to power.
Getting out the Infantryman in turn 1 is pretty essential. He's going to get these off, and that doesn't really matter. Like, yeah, it thins his deck, but everything thins Nilfgaard right now.
Shame I had no time.
Shame I have no time. And so that is really fine. We're fine with this. Like, we do want to win round 1 because of Thaler, but...
Barbarians.
Okay. Seems strange. We also have a really good Vernon Roche. If we want to actually conserve our big Reaver play, we could play, like, Vernon's going to do some work here, but we don't need to play him right away. We also have a good Zoltan Animal Tamer is very strong right now. But I think we're just going to play the Redanian Knight Elect. So
Best give up now.
we're putting it here in between the 2 Trebuchets.
Yes.
He may Ox it. That's fine if he does. Oh, Commander's Horn. Don't hit the 9s. God. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks so bad. If we had hit the... Oh, and he had to hit this one? Alright, we can still Scorch. Scorch might actually force a pass. The question is, do we really... We don't need to play the Reaver Hunter now. If we play the Reaver Hunter, we still win this round, but Scorch might do the same thing. And I don't know when we're going to get a double Scorch. And we shut down a Resilient unit. That's pretty good. I think we just take that. He goes down 18, and we're getting buffed to a turn. But the reason we're playing the Rendanian Knight Elect here is we want to play the first Reaver Hunter next to it. The reason being that when the Reaver Hunter gets buffed by the Elect, it will be 1 point ahead of the other two, so when we do the whole combo, we're not vulnerable to Scorch or Igni. That's pretty important. You can also do that with things like the Bird from Zoltan, and you can also try to set it up in a way where there's mismatches on the damage. Also, you can keep a Reaver Hunter out against things like Trebuchets or against decks that ping like Skellige, just to make it so they're not even, which is pretty important. Okay, so he didn't pass. Him not passing here makes me want to drop this. The problem is if we do this, now we're making this whole row vulnerable to Igni. It's not vulnerable to Scorch, but it is vulnerable to Igni, which I don't like. So I think it's better to play the Reaver Scout here, get another Trebuchet.
I told you so, you idiot.
And what we want to do is we want to stagger it. So we want these Trebuchets to become 8s, so we're going to put this one here. Once these are 8s, they'll go above the Reaver Scout. He only has 1. If he has 2 of these in his hand, he's screwed. He could have 2 in the... Actually, I don't know how this interaction works. Can he have 2 at the top of his deck? That I actually wonder about. I'm very curious. I don't actually know that. Also, I'm not sure how long the videos are going to be. Whoa. Tremors? Tremors. So here's a good example of what I was talking about. So we're in a position where we can drop this. The problem is he took away this. He took away the armor. But we play the Reaver Scout here. Doesn't really matter, but I want it here.
Let's go.
Goes to a 7. This row is no longer vulnerable to Igni. If he had any spot removal, he would have used it on the reinforced trebuchets. So we know he's not. Okay, that's fine. I know we get a Henselt. Okay, also good for us to know. We are still vulnerable to Scorch now, but I don't think that matters because we have the Zoltan play to take this round if we really want it. And this is the combo right here.
Let's go.
These, I mean, look at this. And we take down. I mean, it's such a big tempo swing. I mean, 71 to 39. Even if he has a Scorch, which he doesn't, but even if he does, we get so much tempo out of that. Hit the 6. I know you want to. There we go. And we're just gonna pass. So we're even in cards. Always good after winning round 1, and we get a chance to leverage our Thaler in round 2, which is really important. All of these are great cards. We do not want to mulligan any of these. The golds are so valuable. And so Philippa, a quick note about Philippa Eilhart. The way she works is you do 5 damage, and then you do damage to different minions, or units rather. I'm going to call them minions, I'm going to call them units. I'm going to go back and forth. If you hit units, so if there's 2 units that are like high attack, she'll bounce back and forth, but she won't hit the same one over and over again. That's just kind of a quick note. I think we just play Cyprian here. We want to get some cards out of him.
Slow, ain't ya?
I really like Cyprian Wheelie. He's not very good in this matchup, of course, but he has so many applications that I really enjoy. He played the Geralt. We're just going to play Thaler here.
So you've thought about this.
Death Mold is obviously the right choice. Death Mold is also really, really good, and this is a card that is... I don't want to say he's the best mage, and if you guys don't know, the mages are the silver cards that cast 3 different spells, but he is really high up there. The fact that he casts Alzur's Thunder is pretty absurd. I don't really understand why he casts Alzur's Thunder, but I'm really happy that he does, because he's a fantastic card. He's never dead, the rain is good, the clear skies is super strong.
A highly curious case.
And our hand right now is just so good. I mean, we have all the juice.
Your humble servant.
Like, we probably want to push this round down to maybe...
A highly curious case.
We don't necessarily want to 2-round our opponent, but maybe we want to push it down to...
Your humble servant.
It depends what he draws off of these emissaries. That's fine. It's annoying, but it's fine. So, we could just Vernon Roche here to get some tempo, but we don't necessarily need to. Like, we could kill both of these, play Vernon, and then, like, really force him to do something. But I don't think that's necessarily... We could play Death Mold here, and then Alzur's Thunder the 9, and then give us 2 good Roche targets here and here. We can also play Zoltan for the bird anytime we want, so we can also Philippa and just kind of go crazy. But I don't think we want to do that while the 1/1s are out, because they kind of mess up her ability. But we can actually make a push, and you'll find that there's a lot of times I'm actually going to do this.
Well then, let's get to work.
Well then, let's get to work. Rain was definitely a possibility. Rain this row, kill off the 1/1s, but Rain is the one that kills the lowest units. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, lowest units throw by 2. So we could have done that and killed off the 1/1s, but I like setting up Vernon Roche. You'll also notice that...
Coming!
Really? We just started playing ranked, so maybe people haven't figured that one out yet. I think we just Vernon here.
Mary, that's what it is. Semper Fi!
Nice
mess you've got here.
Look at that swing. This card is really, really good. He is somebody that I think, as the meta evolves, he's going to see more and more play.
Notice!
Just...
All roads lead to Nilfgaard.
And his last card is Scorch, which he can't use. So we take it, right? 7. Then we play the bird on our side. And this goes to a 9, which dodges the 11. This goes up. Yeah, that's... Wait, hold on. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then Philippa is just super swing.
Always well in power.
So you'll find that you're going to 2-0 people a lot. And that's what happened here.
Right!
Like, I've actually, and maybe it's just early on in the meta and people don't know how to play the game fully yet, but I notice a lot, especially against Nilfgaard, you're going to 2-0 a lot of people. And it's just because there's so much value and power packed into this deck that it's really hard for your opponents to see it come in. And it's just very difficult to deal with all the value. There's so many ways to get power and points in the deck that it really builds to a strong machine, and it's really fun to play. So that is game number 1. I will see you guys for game number 2. Alright guys, we're back. Game number 2, playing Theorycraft Thursday, and we're playing some Henselt. Should be a good one. I really like this deck. I think this is probably going to be my main climbing deck.
You're one piece.
For the early
Fight
ladder.
for it.
Although, there's a couple archetypes I still want to try out. There's some cards I really need to open. I really want to try Control Skellige, but I don't have Coral yet. It really stinks, like, going back to... I'm glad Open Beta is here, but it does stink. You lose all your cards, and so I gotta rebuild my collection. But so does everyone. We don't want to keep the double Reaver Hunter. We could try to go, like, double Reaver Hunter into the Reaver Scout, but we always have 3 Reaver Hunters because of Henselt. So, we get rid of First Light first, though. We don't need First Light here. And then we'll get rid of a Reaver Hunter. We'll get rid of this one. This one looks cooler. So, double Renadian Knight Elect. We have nothing in our hand that we don't want, and so I don't like mulliganing on the 3rd mulligan if you don't have to with this deck. Now we're going first. And the reason is because there's so many cards that if you get them in your mulligan, it really dilutes your opening hand, which you never want. So we'll lead with the infantryman here. I like to put them in the bottom row.
Want to die.
because most of your units are siege, but you also have some ranged units in the Reaver Scouts. And so if you're going to stack a row, this is a good row to stack. We could kill that with Triss, and I actually think there's merit to doing that, but I don't think it's like... So he's playing Crush on Crate, which means he's probably a damage deck. There's probably better targets, honestly. We'll just do this. We lose 1 armor, but that doesn't matter. McSavage Bear's good, but his armor gets to stick around. We get to play another one. We also get to use Reaver Scout. Reaver Scout's really strong. If you guys didn't play during closed beta, if you're here for the new beta, this card is really insane. Also, this card is very good. So Clan Tersic Axeman. It's basically a 4 strength guy. It's 2 points, 2 armor, and it boosts itself whenever an enemy takes damage. So this is kind of the win condition of our opponent's deck. And so we are going to just Triss that, I'm pretty sure. I didn't want to play one of these units because the bear would hit it and then that would get buffed, and that can mess up the removal.
We shall do it my way.
Okay, so Brianna Brand, what does she do now? Oh yeah, she damages herself by 1 and adjacent units by 2, which is okay. We have a pretty large lead right now. But if this is our opponent's plan, then he just wants to attack this row, which I think we don't care about. I think we just play a Knight Elect in the back row.
Long live.
This will set up our Reaver Hunter, as I explained last game.
Modern Freyr is patient,
But she
but brooks no insult.
So I actually don't know how this interaction works. Cyprian Willie on the Axeman. I don't know. Taking away the base strength, he gets boosted. So so this is a note this is a really important note. If you use Cyprian Willie, he weakens by 3. If you weaken a unit, no matter how much boosted strength it has, if its base strength is still lower than 3, when you hit it, it will die no matter how big it is when it goes to the graveyard. That is just an interesting note. So another interesting note, if we play Death Mold here, and we use Ulcer's Thunder on the Axeman, it's not going to work because the bear is going to ping this is going to grow, and then it's going to get hit for 7. So that doesn't do us any good. But we do have some options. We'll just Reaver Hunter here.
Let's go.
We can go with the combo. Like, the Reaver Hunters aren't usually targets for removal. I wish we had a Trebuchet, because those almost always eat removal over these guys. But the fact that Reaver Hunters are a 6 means they don't die to Triss, and she's everywhere right now, because she's a free legend, he had a Thunder. So that's a big problem for us. I'm just gonna Wily here then.
Slow, ain't ya?
Weakening ignores armor, and now when this goes to the graveyard, we don't have to worry about it anymore. Priestess of Freya can be kind of annoying. It's really annoying that our opponent played that. I guess we're gonna... Maybe I could have been more careful. But... I don't know. We can also Scorch if we really want to, but I don't think we need to. We Reaver Scout.
I told you so, you idiot.
And get another one of these. Put him in the back row to keep him away from Birna. We want our opponent to use resources here.
I'll do what I can.
Triss is a good card. So we're at 18 to 34. Scorch puts him down 17 points, which is 17. So we're actually still in control of this game, which is really nice. We don't have any good Vernon Roach value, and also Henselt is a dead card until we get a Trebuchet. So we may want to think about getting out of this round, but we don't need to do it just yet. I kind of want a Death Mold for a Rain. If we Death Mold for Rain and hit this row, we can put this down, or we can Vernon Roach both of these if we need to. I kind of like that. Yeah, because this is gonna,
As you come up.
because this isn't going to the graveyard, like, and I think this is just overall better than playing the Thunder because of the Vernon Roche play. Okay, so he gave us the turn, gave us the round, I believe. This goes down to 1, so he's minus 20 right now. Yeah, this is 13, so you'll notice that card gets destroyed instead of going to the graveyard. Very important. And the reason I use Vernon Roche over the Scorch is because he plays a lot of Priests of Freya and things that we can use Vernon Roche for tempo plays later in the game. So we really want a Trebuchet and we want Thaler. Those are the 2 best draws in our deck. Both of these are really bad, although this could be a Trebuchet. So we're going to throw back the Reaver Scout and look for something like Philippa. We also have Reaver Hunters. I forgot about that. So we're down 2 cards, but we took the first round. The question is how tempo-y do we want to get here? Against Crash and Crate, it all depends. How badly do we want to push round 2? And I'd like to bleed him out of cards if possible. So I think we want to lead with this. And we'll put it in the back row, I suppose.
This is no time to whimper.
We do want to bleed him on some cards, and we can keep tempo pretty well. Okay. So if we first light, we really don't have that bad of a target. If we hit Trebuchet is our goal, right? Because if we hit Trebuchet, it goes down to 4, not a big deal. He's already used he's used Triss and Alzur's Thunder. And now Henselt is actually just dead. Well, not dead. We get another Reaver Hunter, but we have to do this.
You're one piece. Fight for it.
So this is...
Don't recognize
Our opponent played this game really well. I don't think he can beat us on 1 card. And so that's actually really important. That's definitely not 1 card. Wow, that's 9. So we'll pass here. So it's 2-1, but his 1 is really strong because of Crash and Crate. We got close. I don't know what card we could draw here that helps us. Him killing that, I think I should have played the Reaver. I mean, yeah, the Reaver Hunter in a better... Yeah, of course, we draw Vess. And we're just gonna get rid of her. Yep. That's unfortunate, but it's gonna happen. Yeah, we had a chance to draw 2 golds there. Oh, he has Blue Boy logos. Oh, yeah, that's...
Come on, let's go. Time to face our fears.
That is going to be game. So, that's unfortunate. That was a rough one. Because of that one play. I think I just was a little too careless. I really should have tried to burn. Not having the Trebuchet, though, in round 1 makes it difficult. So, we're 1-1. That's fine. And I will see you guys for game number 3. Alright guys, we're back with a 3rd game. I think I'll probably end up doing 4 per video. They don't take that long. Depending on how long they go. Maybe 3, maybe 4. It's really going to vary. But we'll see. How it goes as the loading screen turns ever so slowly.
You're one piece. Fight for it.
Ooh.
Men of Kedwin!
And we're going up against a champion, which is actually higher than my card sharp. This is someone who finished, I believe, top 1,000. Could be top 500. I'm interested to see another Henselt here on the early ladder. So with this hand, we don't need first light, and we also are going to get rid of one of these. So we'll get rid of this first. Thaler is pretty good. First light gets us a Reaver Scout. We have double Trebuchet. We have the Reaver Hunter combo. And we have double Knight Elect. I like this. I like this hand. A lot of good stuff going on here. And he's going first, which is always good. So the plan here is lead with Trebuchet, probably. It depends what he leads with.
The quill is mightier than the
Ooh,
sword.
Dandelion. So for those of you that don't know, Dandelion boosts up 3 units in your deck by 3. It's a pretty cool card. Really good with things like Reaver Scout or Henselt, actually. Also really strong with the Field Medic, which puts a card back in your deck and lets you pull one out. So he has some good applications. He's also very, very cool. So if we play a Reinforced Trebuchet, I don't mind if our opponent passes. Like, you might see that sometimes where, like, your opponent just passes right away to get card advantage up early, but we have Thaler, which doesn't matter, and if we take the round, we have Thaler, so it doesn't matter. Also, I'll never know how to say this guy's name. But he does have a really cool battle cry.
Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
Ooh, he is playing Weather. I was wondering about that when I mulliganed away that first light, but that's mighty unfortunate. Still think we do
I told
this.
you so, you idiot.
We only lose 2 a turn, and he's losing 2 a turn, so we're kind of even on that. We can also play, I don't,
Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
wow, like he's really in on the Weather. So he's playing like a Henselt Weather deck. My life for Vernon Roche. This would be a sick Vernon Roche board. I don't actually know how the Redanian Knight Elect works with Weather, but if I play this and he kills this, it's going to hit him both for 2, which is not good. Although that pretty much does for everything that we have in our hand, so I think it's better just to play these.
I don't want to die.
They're out of the Weather, and they're 9 points. We lose 1 point, he loses 2. I do want to take this round, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Some cool combos.
Nice mess
Accept.
you've got here.
Ooh. That's my strategy. So if he's playing a Henselt deck, he knows the power of trios. Does he kill Reaver Hunter right away? This is a very important question. I think we have to go for it, but I'm not really that happy about it. I guess we could play the Knight Elect instead. That puts us to 5, 6, 7. We go to 21, but then we go down. We can still win in 1 turn, though, with Zoltan, so it's not the end of the world. I kind of like this more. It just hedges our bets so well against Igni, especially somebody who's this high up. You're typically going to find has a lot of kegs, which means they have a lot of good cards, which means they could be running better epics and legendaries than you may be used to. So it is important to keep this kind of thing into account. I don't like the big... he just played Promote? I mean, not Promote, but the other one. The one that gets a card reinforcement. So he just rained us pretty hard all over the place. I still think we're going to go with the Reaver Hunter.
This is no time to whimper.
He's pushing the Weather, but the Weather's not really hitting us that hard. It hits this for 1, this for 2. Like, it's Rain, and I'm actually curious as to why he's playing Rain over... He's thinking about Henselting, which means he's going to Henselt out whatever he buffed up. I'm just really curious as to what his plan is for the Rain over the Frost. I think Frost would be better because it does 1 to the whole row. Okay, Yenkon probably getting, Yennefer getting a Unicorn. Now we actually have to think about this one. I still think we have this. We play Reaver Hunters. We put them both here. Henselt is 2. They're all going to be, what are they, 12s? Yeah, we still have... This is absolutely a swing, and we want to do it now.
You're one piece. Fight for it.
Okay, so let's go back. No, we want to stack them all in the same row to make the rain worse.
This is no time to whimper. This is no time to whimper.
Cool. And now we're up by 20. That combo is so strong. Like, you don't need Vest to make the combo work, but the extra 6 points actually matters. And we have Zoltan, so I really don't know. So notice what I did, though. Notice doing this is very important. So if he has an Igni, if he has a Scorch, he only gets rid of 15 points instead of, what is that, 12 times 36. Like, yeah, we lose this, whatever. Like, we're up by 20, he needs to play into us now, and we can leverage the tempo however we want. It's very important to note that these swings, what you do with them, and how they work, and so... We'll see what our opponent wants. He's just going to pass, yeah. I mean, most people pass to this. So we pass even on cards. He used 3 weathers. Like, this is a really important thing that I've seen some people doing early on in the game. Is they see a weather and they, like, overreact to it, right? And they're like, oh my god, we need to get rid of that weather. Like, I'm going to keep the clear skies here. Or the first light. I call it clear skies. It's called first light. It spawns clear skies. It's the same thing. But they overreact to weather, right? They see a weather on their row and they go, oh my god, I need to get rid of that rain. I need to get rid of that whatever. It doesn't matter. They need to. And the truth of the matter is, no, you don't. It's not that serious. So what we're going to do here, because we have Thaler, if we didn't have Thaler, I would actually strongly think about passing here to put him down a card. But he hasn't used Henselt yet. He has Blue Stripes Commandos, which means he has a lot of things he can chain out of his deck. I want to run him really, really low on cards this round. We're going to play all of this, and then we'll play Thaler at the end. So he doesn't know we have this. And this is really important. If you play Thaler first, and he knows you have card advantage, your opponent will play differently, because they will play their cards in a very different manner. Oh, he's also playing Reaver Hunters. So we're going to try to get those out of him.
This is no time to whimper.
The reason I put it here is because I want to set up the Redanian Knight Elect, if you are wondering. I'll try to explain the plays.
This is no time to whimper.
Okay, so he's going to use this combo this round, which is what we want him to do. Because we don't want him to have access to this round 3, and we're just going to stay in.
Long live, etc., etc.
Because we have swing plays. Like, one of the biggest rules of Gwent is you can never pass.
Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
So that's unfortunate because it gets rid of this armor. But I actually don't think we really care about this that much. So we're just going to play Cyprian. We could clear skies here, but I want to wait to see if he has another weather. And we'll just get rid of her. Your passes are never safe. I think that's the biggest thing. Unless you're playing in a round where you and your opponent have very little cards, or your opponent, it's such a big gap that your opponent needs to spend a couple cards catching up. But if you pass in this round and let your opponent
recognize your old mates.
Just go off, like, our opponent cannot pass at all. It doesn't matter how big his lead is. There's too many swing cards in Gwent that let me catch up. Like, we would still win the round from these cards alone. So he needs to keep playing. And I think we can first light here. Get a clear skies, and then just make him play more cards, which is all we really care about. Like, we know this is a Reaver Hunter because he got it off of Operator, which is a pretty interesting combo to think about, and I guess Operator could be a silver in this deck.
As you wish, milady.
That was the opposite of a tempo play. Now I think we play Philippa here. So we could play Thaler this turn. The reason we're not going to play Thaler this turn is if we play Thaler this turn, we may not actually have enough to kill our opponent, and then he may pass. Although, there is the alternative to this, which is we play Thaler, he goes up to 59, and then we have both of these. This is a 15-point swing, this is a 16-point swing, so that's like roughly 30 points. 29 plus whatever we get, plus the trebuchet. I actually think we might be able to take this if we play Thaler, but I also don't want my opponent to pass. So I think it's better just to do this now. I definitely don't want my opponent passing. I want to keep him in. I want to draw those cards out. We know this is a Reaver Hunter, and it's pretty big. D-Shackles is fine, and that card doesn't actually do anything. And now we play Thaler this turn.
An interest in cobblers. No one.
And we're going to take Death Mold. So if our opponent wants to pass to that, he's at minus... Okay, so he did pass. Okay, so now we have to think about this. We have 7, this is 10, putting us at 31. Our opponent is at minus 7 because of the parrot. Or we could just go plus here. So let's just say we're at 10, which is 31, 33, 35, 37, 39, and then we zap his guy. We win. And this is what I was talking about when I said no lead is safe.
Always willing, pal.
When you force your opponent into these positions where they think they can win, like the lead seems insurmountable.
As you command, Your Majesty.
But in reality, it's almost never insurmountable, and that's just a very important rule of Gwent.
That was actually rather impressive. Congratulations.
I wanted to say thanks, although Dandelion's condescending voice hurts my ears. But either way, we're going to send this guy a good game. Always send your opponent good games, guys, unless they flame you or something. But yeah, so that is the first couple videos on... Wait, this is only game number 3. I'm playing one more. I'll see you guys for the next game. Okay, guys, so I'm going to do 4 games per video. I think that's kind of what I'm decided. Maybe 3 if we're playing like a really slow deck, but I think 4 games is fine. Could be 3 or 4. It'll be 3 or 4 depending on how I'm feeling that day. And
Men of Kedwen!
ooh,
Attack!
another Henselt. All right, maybe I didn't discover something new. So I really don't know. Well, first of all, let's look at our mulligans. So the Reaver Hunters, obviously we don't want these. So that's a good draw. That's not really. I guess we could get us a 3rd trebuchet. And we want to get rid of one of the elects. Do we want to get rid of one of the elects? We want to get rid of that Scorch. No, because Scorch is really good against like Henselt Blue Commandos. So let's just get rid of an elect. Not really what we're looking for. Although it could get us out a 3rd. Like the Reaver Scouts are good because they're almost never dead. Yeah, so actually Scorch is going to be really good against this. We're going to just start off with playing a Reinforced Trebuchet. What I was going to say is in the write-up, I'm going to have some suggestions on tweaks you can make to the deck if you don't have the golds or whatever.
I don't want to die.
But most Theory Crafting Thursdays are going to be focused on decks that I really am Theory Crafting, decks that I'm like, maybe we can play this card, maybe this card, we'll try this version out. This deck, I actually think it's pretty close to where I want it. I'm really enjoying it so far. So instead of just playing the Trebuchet, it's better just to do this.
But we're broke as shit peddlers.
I don't care. You can be broke as shit all you want. We'll get the Trebuchets rolling. It's a good card. So the question is, what do we want to do with this? So he doesn't have any removal, which is good news for us. I think we just play the infantry.
Vatamaria!
It does kind of stink that we pinged this,
What do you want of me?
but he's going to have big... Ooh, those are big
You'll
units.
recognize your old mates.
That is definitely scorchable. I may actually scorch that. Because I know how good the combo is. So this is an interesting question, which is how valuable is getting rid of that Reaver Hunter? If he does the Reaver Hunter combo to us, like that's obviously bad. I think it's right just to kill this. There's no resurrection in Northern Realms. It also keeps us ahead. But then, yeah, we really want to win. We really want to win round 1. So I think it's important. The reason we want to win round 1 is because we really want to take Henselt deep into round 2.
Awaiting your orders.
That's fine. That card doesn't actually do anything. It looks like it does, but it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of these borders. I kept the simple, like, day 1, rank 1 border. Or, yeah, rank 1 border where it just looks nice. I tried the rank 15 border that's all, like, flashy and stuff, but I didn't really like it all that much. So we're going to start getting this train going.
Best give up now.
Just want to challenge him a little bit. We'll play the Reaver Hunter next turn. It looks like our opponent is going to do maybe Henselt this out. And then we play Reaver Hunters, and then, of course, he passes or something. No, another Reaver Hunter. That's actually fine. He also can't Scorch anymore, because this is going to be a 7. And as always, we are playing it next to the Night Elect.
Don't recognize your old mates.
He's going to Henselt. I wonder what he's going to Henselt here.
You're one piece.
Actually.
Fight.
Probably the infantry.
Don't recognize your old mates.
And that is the importance of Scorch. Scorch just won us the first round. We'll put Henselt in the middle row.
You're one piece. Fight for it.
This combo is so
no
reliable
time
and
to
so
win
good.
Let's go.
No one ever sees these cards as a threat. And now we are up by 30... not quite.
What?
27.
Huh? Who are you?
I mean, I don't even care if he wants it. We're up by like 27. He gets a boost here. He gets this boost. But like he goes down so many cards. There's no reason not to pass here. This is a perfect pass for us. He has to fight through double trebuchets as well. Like that's the perfect turn for him. And he's still down by 20.
Coming.
Still down by 6. Which is actually 8. Oh, by 10. And this went here. Like, this is exactly what the Reaver Hunters do. Like, yes, our opponent is going to win. And, see, block the Igni. It's important, guys. If we don't block the Igni, he just Ignis after we do this combo, and then we lose the round. Now, we lose the round, and he's down... I mean, the game is over. Let's just call it what the game is over. He's down 3 cards. You just can't come back from that. You gotta have cards in your hand, and we have Triss, which is a perfect draw, and we actually don't want Thaler. But basically anything of Cyprian's really good too. And he is super dead. We'll just play the Reaver Scout.
You one of us or not?
You one of us or not? Like, the card gap is just too high here for our opponent. We have so many good draws too. That's actually completely fine. We're going to lead with the Reinforced Trebuchet so we can start getting value out of it. I don't want to redraw anything, because we don't want to accidentally draw Thaler. That's like the only card we don't want to draw. Lead with the Trebuchet to try to get as much value out of it as possible.
I'll do what I can.
And Triss is fine.
For Radovid! Best give up now.
Like, being up 2 cards is just really gross. We don't need to use her yet. We can just do this.
Long live, etc., etc.
And we obviously want to play Philippa last, because she gets the most value the more units that are on the board. So let's talk about Philippa real quick. And here in the last game, we'll talk about Philippa. So I touched upon this earlier. Her ability, the way it triggers is it goes when there's 2 things on the board. it goes to the first one and then just bounces back and forth. So you can't use her on one unit, but if there's two and we hit Neneke first, it goes 8, it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, and then she'll be dead, so she won't come back. But it'll go like that. If we hit him, it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, and then. So that's just a little bit of a casual note, but I think we just play Triss here.
Just great.
We want to break the armor, and then we have Philippa is just going to go crazy.
You sweat like a swine in that jacket.
Come to Pappin!
That's actually a pretty good swing on his part. It doesn't matter, but it's not terrible, and then Philippa's just going to clean this one up.
Be imprisoned again.
And there you go. So, 4 games down, the first episode of Theorycrafting Thursdays. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys like the site. I put some work into it. I'll be updating it 3 times a week, probably. That's my goal. Maybe a little more if it gets some traction. And I'll be bringing some other things to the site that aren't there. But thanks for tuning in. I'm Joseph Scalise. This is the Noble Gwentry. And I will see you guys next week. Peace out.